Please read the disclaimer. Hello, beautiful people. Shalom, money makers. We're going to talk about everything you need to know this week regarding XRP, regarding the markets. An interesting, huge entity is buying more Bitcoin. You know them. It's not that much of a surprise, but it could have a big effect on what's happening with crypto this week. We're also going to talk about China, and is China trying to take over the dollar? Maybe. There's lots to talk about here, so let's get into it. Currently, XRP is sitting at $1.61, down minus 1.75% on the day. So far, Sunday, fun day, hasn't been that fun, but hasn't been too bad. We started out the day actually in the green, and now XRP is pulling back. Bitcoin is around 78,000. It actually did fall all the way down to 76,761. Also, Ethereum dropped all the way to 2,289. So the market pulled back a little bit here this morning, and then was able to bounce back. You can see we saw a pullback here, right? Around 4 or 5 my time, and then we're seeing a recovery off of that. If we look this week, right, again, price action right now, it is what it is, right? I know many people want the prices of crypto to be a lot more, right, relevant to the dollar. By the way, my dad asked me a good question earlier today. It's story time. He asked me a question, and he said, he asked me in a different language, so I'm going to translate for you. He says, cryptocurrency, it's valued against the dollar, and what potentially will happen if crypto one day replaces the dollar and you only have crypto left? So then how would you value crypto, right? And that was a very good question. And I said to him, the first thing you need to understand is that it's not valued only to the dollar, right? It's also valued to other cryptocurrencies. It's other value to other assets. It's valued to other fiat dollars. No, what's it called? Fiat money, right? So there's a lot of things behind that. And yes, most people, they buy crypto, or they buy XRP, they buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest in order to potentially translate that into dollars or euros or whatever your local currency is, and not holding it to use it in the future if it does replace fiat money. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm wrong. I'm talking about the most people. I'm not talking about you. Maybe you think a little bit different, but most people that are investing in the crypto market are investing for diversification, or investing for the potential of the gain relatively to the dollar. And until that flips, it's going to be hard, because there's going to be big fluctuations in the crypto market valuation relative to the dollar, right? That's what we're looking at right now. So that was an interesting question that he asked me, and actually I put it through ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said that basically what I told him, but in a better way. But it's in a different language. So. But it's very important to remember that I digressed a little bit here. Hopefully you're still with me. But this is very bad video pacing. I'm sorry. This video is probably not going to get any views, and it's going to go into the graveyard of views of videos. Key events this week, and one that is very, very important, is the ISM manufacturing PMI data that's coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow is big in multiple ways, because first of all, we need to see how the market is going to react to the government shutdown. We saw crypto sell off. Will the stock market, will the precious metals continue the sell off, or have we had enough time to stew over the weekend and investors are less likely to panic on Monday? So we'll see how that plays out. And the PMI data is important because we've talked about this. Anything over 50, the Bitcoin has never had a new high while the ISM manufacturing was under 50. So the forecast is 48.4. So I don't know if that it's not 50 yet. So we have to wait maybe a few more months until we see the crypto market rally. Could be. If we go and we take a look to, where is this? Here. It says here, every single time that these two lines converged, that was the bottom, right, of the crypto market, or the bottom of Bitcoin. And they're still pretty far away, right? So this is Bitcoin percentage of supply in profit and loss. So they're still far away. So could this mean that we still have to have a pullback in order for the markets to rally, or have we found a bottom? The theory here, right, is that because we did not have the red, right? So this is from Plan B, is saying because we did not see the red, maybe we won't get to the blue, the dark blue, right? So the dark blue is the bottom, but maybe because we have not yet seen the red, right? So there might not be the bear market shallow that we have seen in the past. Again, it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this plays out. Now, someone that is continuing to purchase is Michael Saylor with his more orange, right? Every time he adds an orange dot to his graph, it means that Monday morning he's going to announce that Microstrategy purchased more Bitcoin. And we talked about it this morning, how they are on the verge of going into the red on their positions, but he doesn't care. He continues to buy, he continues to dollar cost average. He's probably like, ooh, I can get, at 78,000, give me, right? That's what he's probably thinking here, because he doesn't really care about the price action. He just continues with his plan, right? Because he's looking at Bitcoin as a Bitcoin, right? Not as the value to the dollar. Although he needs to raise money through his shares, right, his stock, in order to buy that Bitcoin. So he does care on the value of his stock more than the value of Bitcoin, I think. But the lower Bitcoin is, the price versus dollar, the more Bitcoin he can purchase. So that's an interesting scenario. We have a December JOLTS job opening on Tuesday. Google earning on Wednesday. Initial jobless claims on Thursday. With the CPI numbers, and although PPI numbers wasn't great on Friday, but with that happening, inflation coming down, the Fed would be looking more at the job numbers. So that is going to happen on Thursday, unless the government is shut down, and then maybe it won't come out, all this data. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I know that Kobesi put the key events this week, and this is what's supposed to happen. But if the government is shut down, does the initial jobless claim and the ISM manufacturing data come out? The January job report, does that come out on Friday? That will be interesting to see, what happens there if that actually ends up coming out. So interesting. We'll see. There's a lot of things that, will be updated during the week. So make sure to turn on the notifications if you're already subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, now is the time to do so. If you keep coming back to see my beautiful face. I took off my jacket because I was a little bit warm, and now I'm kind of cold. Someone wrote to me that in Massachusetts it was like -4 Fahrenheit. Here it was like 25 Celsius today, so it's very, very nice. You guys are still in the cold in the US. So subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Also, we do have our partnership here with BTCC. If you're interested, they are now giving out 30% deposit bonus to my subscribers using my link. So that means if you put in $1,000 deposit, it's $300 bonus, 10,000, 3,000, 100,000, 30,000, a million, 300,000, 10 million, 3 million. That's how percentages work. I will get a commission if you do use my link. So thank you for that. But please, please, please trade responsibly. We've seen how leverage can be tricky over the past few months. So make sure you understand the risks and rewards of using leverage. Again, link is in the description down below. President Xi calls for the Chinese yuan to become the global reserve currency, challenging the US dollar, according to Financial Times. Of course he wants this. Why wouldn't he want this? Why wouldn't the second largest or the second powerful country, some might say the first powerful country, according to who you're asking, in the world, wants the yuan to become the global reserve currency. Right now, it's the dollar, but that could change. In the past, it wasn't the dollar; it was something else. It was the pound, or it was whatever. And maybe in the future, it's a cryptocurrency. Maybe, who knows, right? We'll see how the future develops and how that's going to happen. But this is very interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if they push hard for this going forward. Interestingly, Bitcoin liquidity is drying up. Bitcoin market depth, the capital available to absorb large orders, is still more than 30% below the October peak. Last time this happened was after the FTX collapse. Thin order books mean small flows can now move price fast. And we're seeing that. Of course, we saw that Friday, Saturday with those dips. So when there's not a lot of liquidity, small orders can change prices very, very fast. And liquidations, of course, have a big effect on that. We talked about this morning, how there was over 2.4 billion yesterday, and today only 400 million. Right? Most of it happened for the 24 outside of the 24-hour time frame. Right, so it was earlier yesterday that most of the sell-offs happened, and there was that $200 million liquidation in one trade. Ay caramba, right? But it will be very interesting to see how this week plays out. And you can see over the last 24 hours, some more green, right? Because the market has been a little bit more stable since yesterday. So it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I just noticed that I was sitting slouching. I was slouching in my chair. My voice is getting a little bit crackly. So I'll have to say sayonara, see you later, shalom, litraot. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Check out the links in the description down below. Smash the like button. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.